You are leaving the school for the summer after your junior year, your mind set on a 2-month vacation to Europe. When you get home and check your mail to see your SAT score. 830, a well below average score. You wake up from your dream and remember that you actually scored a 1290, much more noticeable for the University of Michigan. But you have no summer vacation, which means no vacation to Europe. These are possibilities you may face with a year-round or traditional school. The United States is and has been in an educational crisis for quite some time. Not only are some students not getting the educational requirements for college, but many are on tight budgets and awkward schedules. On the other hand, some students don't ever get a summer break and have less opportunities to be with their family. For some, year-round school is the key to better learning, but to others it can be a real stressful change. I've always wanted to know what a year-round school is like. I come from a traditional school and would like to know if year-round schooling would better help my test results. First, I'll explain what a year-round school is like and how it works. Second, I will discuss the pros of a year-round school. And last, I will discuss the cons of a year-round school. For some, year-round school is the key to better learning, but to others it can be a real stressful change. Year-round schooling is not new. Since the early 1900s, it has been experimented with and tried at. But in the past 15 years, year-round schools have started to popularize. I found in Year-Round Schooling Explained by Jacelyn Zubrutsky, nearly 4,000 schools today have a year-round schedule, compared to 408 in 1986. That is 4% of all American schools, and 400 of those are charter schools. Now, there have been more than 4,000 schools in the past to try it. Many switched to a year-round school, but simply switched right back within a couple of years. Some history about why year-round school originated would date back to the 1910s and 20s, when children were no longer forced to work in the summer. Usually, year-round schools are larger Class A schools found in the southern U.S. cities. The schedule for your year-round school can be tricky, but mostly flexible. In essence, there's a large academic period, then a break period, about one-third of the size of the learning time. The most common example is 45 days of learning and 15 days off. I found this in Tracy Hubner's Year-Round Schooling. The second most common model is a 60-20 schedule. It won't work out this way for the whole academic year. So here's an image I found on ScreenFlex of a common schedule compared to a traditional schedule. The red is school time and the blue is off days. Year-round schools are no longer than traditional ones. A common thought is that it's year-round, so it must have more days. This is incorrect. Year-round schools follow the same guidelines and regulations as a traditional school. A year-round school calendar is simply split up more, but still gets the 180 days a traditional school would get. The confusion is found with what is called expanded learning time, which is more days or longer days found in it, which is more days or longer days for a school year. This change over time has led to lots of research to find out whether or not year-round school is more effective or better than a traditional school. Here are the pros found through research. Year-round school has a lot of solutions to academic problems found today. This ranges from vacation time, better test scores, into financial benefits. First, we'll talk about the actual education itself. In the summer, kids lose some of what they learned in the past year. This is called summer learning loss or summer slide. On average, a student that reaches graduation is really 2 to 3 years behind what they would normally be if that was not a factor. Another factor that can stunt learning is burnout, meaning the boredom or lack of attention between the massive amounts of school with no breaks. Through one study by the University of Minnesota, there were 42 studies with no positive impacts on SAT scores and 27 studies with significant positive impacts on SAT scores. Now we will discuss the pros for vacation time slots for a year-round school, for year-round students and families. You may think that the large summer break is great for vacationing, but so does everyone else. What I mean by this is that everyone wants to be traveling in the summer. Places are busy and prices are jacked. There are so many places to go during the fall, winter, and spring. Some places are better to visit for that time of the year, and with a year-round schedule, you now have opportunities to go to the best possible choice. Plus, there might be a discount for prices. A common pro year-round schooling argument is that it's better for low-income families and students. Studies show that children from low-income families stand to benefit the most from year-round schooling. Families that can't afford a lot for their children to do during the summer can be in school instead. Now I will bring up the cons for a year-round school. The argument of this debate consists of many reasons not to do year-round school, like family vacation or time issues, lack of summer jobs for high school students, and lots of social problems. Like pro-year-round schooling debaters, vacation time is controversial. Some argue that you can only get good quality vacation time in the summer because of awkward schedules during the rest of the year. Also, it is just an American tradition to have a summer break, and that is what American families look forward to and use for their family time. One of the most important things is an economic problem. High schoolers look forward into the summer to get jobs. If they can't get jobs corresponding to their year-round schooling schedules, they can't pay for their car or save for college. This may also have an effect on the economy of the township or city. Without as many summer workers or customers, local businesses could suffer. Another problem with always being in school is not being exposed to anything other than school for a long time. The biggest issue is education. Some say that traditional schools have the same quality education as year-round schools. Studies I found from Zubrzycki's article show that most year-round schools have negative or neutral impact. Through my search, the general results are mixed, maybe slightly leaning towards year-round schooling. First, I explained what a year-round school is like. Second, I covered the pros of a year-round school. And last, I talked about the cons of a year-round school. For some, year-round school is the key to better learning, but to others it can be a real stressful change. In conclusion, year-round school is popularizing around the nation today. There's still an active debate that has lasted for 30 years whether or not year-round schools are overall better than traditional schools. We can see that through the research, no school seems to fit everyone, therefore none are better than the other. Whether or not you are U of M bound or flying to Europe next summer, both are possible with either option. Your success is up to you.